Welcome back, dear viewers, to part 3 of the full 5-part series of our fascinating journey into the hidden theories of the Coraline movie. If you've been following our exploration from the beginning, thank you for your continued support. If you're just joining us, don't worry, there's still plenty to uncover. So let's continue our dive into the mysteries of Coraline. Number 11. Did you catch that the name Beldam has roots in a poem that's over 200 years old? Let us give you the lowdown. There's quite a bit of debate about what precisely the Beldam is, so we decided to do some digging. And guess what? It turns out she's a witch, not a spider, despite what you might have thought. Beldam, in folklore, is actually a nod to a fairy tale being from a poem called La Beldam, written by a fellow named John Keats in the 1820s. So, the creature she's based on is deeply rooted in both witchcraft and beauty. If you're interested, here's a pause-worthy snippet from the poem. Now 2 lines from the poem stand out: fairy's child and her eyes were wild. That's pretty telling, right? At the start of the movie, when Coraline steps into that peculiar circle with mushrooms, it's a fairy circle. We were curious, what happens if you wander into one of those? Do you turn invisible, or perhaps get stuck there for eternity? Now, here's where things get really interesting. There are loads of theories out there suggesting that Coraline may never have truly escaped the other world. Why, you ask? Well, on that fateful 3rd night when she tries to sleep and wake up back in the real world, what happens? She's still there, right? So, could it be that when she stepped into that fairy circle, she never actually returned? Number 12. We all know that the moving guy gets a single dollar bill as payment, but here's the kicker. It's not just any dollar, it's got a face that's not George Washington's. Nope, it's none other than the director of Coraline himself, Henry Selick. And here's where it gets even more intriguing. Those moving guys we see in the film, the Ramps brothers, are actually inspired by real people. It's right there in the credits, plain as day. Joe and Jerome Rampt served as the real-life inspiration behind these characters. Jerome, one of the Rampt brothers, was a character sculptor extraordinaire. He's the creative genius behind memorable characters like the angler Fish, Sully, and even Lightning McQueen. But here's the kicker, there's a reference in the movie that has left us absolutely stumped. This is where I'm reaching out to you all for some assistance. Seriously, folks, we need your help on this one. Picture this, it's the grand finale. Coraline and her newfound friends at the Majestic Palace are celebrating with a good old-fashioned pizza party. But here's the twist. Take a gander at that pizza box down there. Now, we don't have any idea if anyone else has spent some quality time scrutinising a pizza box, but what do you expect it to say? Something like hot and ready, or yummy, right? Well, think again. It boldly proclaims 5.5 pizza. It's quirky, it's cute, and it's utterly perplexing. But wait, there's more. It even declares, now that's a tuna bagel. A tuna bagel? In the world of pizza, the mystery deepens. Number 13. Now, let's shine a spotlight on the dynamic duo, Miss Spink and Miss Forcible. You might find Miss Spink's voice oddly familiar, and that's because it belongs to Jenifer Saunders, the very same talent who brought the fairy godmother to life in Shrek. And as for Miss Forcible, she's portrayed by none other than Dawn French, known to many as the Fat Lady from the Harry Potter series. These 2 ladies have some serious star power in the voice acting department. Back in the day, when we were growing up, there was quite the debate about the nature of the relationship between Miss Spink and Miss Forcibly. Were they simply 2 elderly ladies sharing a home in their golden years, best friends who had stood the test of time? Or perhaps just roommates navigating life together? Well, brace yourselves for the revelation, because it's been officially confirmed by Neil Gaiman, the author of Coraline. Miss Spink and Miss Forcible are indeed a couple. Now, let that sink in. It's fantastic because it marks a significant moment in cinema. You see, the first openly gay character in a stop-motion film was none other than the lovable himbo from Paranorman, and guess what? The same studio, Laika Studios, brought us Coraline. So, while some folks might be getting worked up over centaurs and astronauts in other films, They've unknowingly been treating their kids to the iconic presence of these two legendary thespians for the past 2 decades. Sounds iconic, right? Number 14. In one of my earlier theories, I reached out to all of you for help, and boy did you deliver. You see, it's all about that seemingly ordinary pizza box sitting there at the bottom during the movie's heartwarming pizza party scene. We couldn't help but feel that there was more to it than meets the eye, and sure enough there was, behold the pizza box that proudly proclaims, "Now that's a tuna bagel." But what's the deal with this seemingly random phrase? Well, it turns out that Neil Gaiman, the brilliant mind behind Coraline, had a Tumblr where he shared his bagel recipes. Yes, you read that right. Bagel recipes. Neil Gaiman, the master storyteller, was also a bagel enthusiast. Now, this delightful bagel-loving factoid doesn't just end there. Neil's bagel-making escapades were so well known that if you were to do a quick Google search with the magic words Neil Gaiman bagel recipes, you'd find a treasure trove of his culinary creations. It's a testament to the rich and diverse interests of the man who penned Coraline. Imagine the same person who crafted the eerie and enchanting world of the Beldam was equally passionate about the art of bagel making. But there's more to "now that's a tuna bagel" than meets the eye. In some circles, it's a slang term for a Jewish person who isn't particularly observant of their faith. It's a subtle nod, perhaps, to Neil Gaiman's own heritage and a playful reference to his love for bagels. So the next time you watch Coraline and spot that pizza box, remember the bagels, the stories, and the curious connections that make this movie even more fascinating. Number 15. So another intriguing aspect of Coraline's story that often goes unnoticed, the enigmatic premonitions offered by Miss Spink and Miss Forcible. Let's explore this further. In the Coraline movie, Miss Spink and Miss Forcible's peculiar ability to foresee events adds a layer of mystery. Their premonitions serve as cryptic clues, guiding Coraline through her otherworldly journey. The first instance is the hand in the teacup. A seemingly innocuous moment that later mirrors the lightning strike in the other world. This connection suggests that the eccentric old ladies possess knowledge or insights beyond the ordinary.
What should I do?
Never wear green in your dressing room.
Acquire a very tall stepladder.
And be very, very careful. Oh! Now.
Another curious hint occurs during a shopping trip with Coraline's mother. As Coraline tries on clothes, she sits next to the dressing room. It's worth noting that Miss Spink and Miss Forcible advise Coraline,
never wear green in your dressing room.
Never wear green in your dressing room. Later, we witness Coraline in a green outfit when she encounters the other mother. This raises questions about whether these ladies possess some understanding of the other world and its peculiar rules. Furthermore, there's a pivotal scene where Coraline, frustrated with her circumstances, decides to return to the other world.
Acquire a very tall stepladder.
To achieve this, she stacks books to reach the keys. This action is foreshadowed by Miss Spink and Miss Forcible's cryptic premonitions, implying that they might have insights into the challenges Coraline will face. A particularly intriguing detail is the taffy dates. These dates appear to correspond with when the ghost children would be alive. This raises questions about the extent of the old lady's knowledge and their potential connection to the other mother's schemes. In summary, Miss Spink and Miss Forcible's premonitions are like breadcrumbs guiding Coraline through her otherworldly adventure. Their seemingly cryptic advice and hints suggest a deeper understanding of the other world's mysteries, leaving viewers to wonder about the extent of their knowledge and their role in Coraline's journey. That brings us to the end of part 3 in our ongoing exploration of the hidden theories of the Coraline movie. We hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into the hidden secrets and interpretations. If you missed any previous parts, be sure to check them out. Stay tuned for more intriguing insights in future segments, and as always, thank you for being a part of our audience. Until next time.